Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Seth, and this is Ask BRP, episode number 7. This week I'm going to stray a little bit from the normal routine and talk about something not necessarily pawn related, which I haven't done yet. But the Apple Watch is available for pre-order this Friday, and it's been on my mind a lot. Should I buy it? Is it worth it? Will people use it? Is it going to change how I live my life? It's a huge gamble from the biggest company in the world, Apple, so I think it's worth discussing. But before we get into that, let's recap last week. So last week we had some great questions from you guys. We learned that pawn shops are definitely regulated. We learned that getting a pawn and getting your items back is a relatively simple process. And we also learned that pawn loans are absolutely a legal binding agreement. If you want to see that episode number 6, just search episode 6, hashtag AskBRP, and YouTube, and you can check that out. On to the Apple Watch. So, the Apple Watch. A lot is unknown about the wearable technology sector because it's just beginning. So, I've had a lot of people ask me if I'll be buying one, and definitely the effect it will have on other companies like Rolex. And given my job of buying and selling and lending on high-end luxury watches, everyone's been very curious. So I figured what place is better than to answer here. First of all, the computer on the wrist idea is not new. Samsung and other companies have had like a watch or some sort of wearable computer for a while, Google Glass, etc. And from what I've read, the Apple Watch will have very similar features to the Samsung Gear. So why will the Apple Watch succeed? First of all, I don't think it will necessarily succeed, but if it does, it will be for the following reason. Apple, above everything else it does, makes everything super user-friendly and intuitive. They have a whole team just dedicated to making everything on a device feel realistic. You know, like when you scroll on an iPhone and you just flick it, the physics just make it go, and then it slowly comes to a stop, just feels supernatural. And if you've ever scrolled on like a Samsung device or something else, it's like very glitchy and not as smooth. That's what separates Apple from other companies. They just make it very, very easy to use. I was reading an article actually yesterday that says, so you get text messages, they come through the phone, like right, you just look at your wrist. So if you're in the middle of something and you get a text message and you just glance at it and then put it away, the Apple Watch and your phone will mark that as unread. So you just glanced at it and it knows that you want to go back to that later. So the notification, the little red thing, stays up. But if you hold your wrist like this for a couple seconds, the watch will also realize that you've read the text and it will go away later. So it already knows that you've read the text. Just simple stuff like that, I think, will separate the Apple Watch from the other companies that already have watches or things out like it. Second, everyone wants to know if I'll be buying a watch, and the answer is yes. I'm definitely buying an Apple Watch, but what I don't know is if I'll even use it, if I'll like it, how often I'll use it, if I'll wear it every day, every other day, once a week. I've worn a regular watch for as long as I can remember, so I've always had something on my wrist. Just I don't usually switch. I usually wear the same watch every day. So it'll be interesting if I'll switch back and forth between the Apple Watch and my regular watch, or if I'll just keep the Apple Watch on, or if the Apple Watch will find a place in my drawer and never see the light of day. Third, a really tough answer everyone wants to know is how it will affect the sales of other watch companies. Is it going to put Rolex out of business? I say, hold on, I don't think it's going to put Rolex out of business. While yes, it is a watch, it's not a Rolex. It's more like a computer on your wrist meant to make your life easy. And yes, it tells the time, but that's kind of like a secondary use almost. However, I do think it will affect sales from like the Michael Kors of the world because they have very similar price points, especially with the aluminum and stainless steel versions, like $300, $400, $500. I think people will start buying Apple Watches because of the functionality. And I think it'll put a big dent into those companies. But I don't think it will affect higher end like Audemars, Rolex, Patek Philippe. I think they'll be okay. And finally, everyone wants to know what I think about a $10,000 to $17,000 Apple Gold watch. Personally, I think it's ridiculous. While those kind of prices in the high-end watch market aren't crazy, I mean, a lot of watches sell for $20, $50, $100,000, but they are mechanical timepieces made by hand. This is a computer on your wrist, and really the only value of it is the gold. And in the gold Apple Watch, I know there's not a lot of gold used, not even close to how much they're charging you. So while the price isn't crazy for a watch, I just don't understand who would buy it for just a computer on your wrist that in a year is probably going to be obsolete anyway, and they'll have a thinner one, and it'll be faster and do more things, and you'll have to trade it in. So I don't understand why they're doing that. The only way I could see it working is if they guaranteed people who bought the gold one like a trade-in value within a year if a new one comes out, that they can get a certain amount back to trade up to the new one. But as far as I know and what I've read, they're not doing anything like that, so I just don't see it working very well. So I think that's it, guys. I will definitely be buying an Apple Watch, but you won't see the gold one on my wrist. I'm very anxious for its arrival, and as soon as I get one, I'll try to do a review of the watch and what I think. So that's it for episode 7, Ask BRP. I went a little off topic this week, but I think with all the hype surrounding the Apple Watch, it was worth it. Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Boca Raton Pawn, and Facebook, facebook.com/Boca Pawn Shop. And I also put a new page on our website with all our videos if you want to see episode 1 through wherever. That's at bocaratonpawn.com/AskBRP. That's it for me this week, guys, and we will see you next week.